There are 30 rings in Stardew Valley. Most of them are absolutely useless. Let's make sure you don't make a terrible mistake. Let's start off with an incredible ring, the Slime Charmer Ring. This thing is quite difficult to get as you will need to defeat 1000 slimes to obtain this ring. It takes a ton of effort to be able to get this ring, but trust me, it is worth it. This ring will prevent all slimes from being able to hurt or slow you. This makes diving into the Skull Cavern much less stressful as there's one less thing to worry about. Additionally, it is quite helpful if you plan on raising your own slimes. The Warrior Ring is a very interesting ring. You can easily craft this ring once you have reached level 4 combat. This ring gives you a chance to receive a massive damage buff after you defeat an enemy that lasts for 5 seconds. This ring is pretty fun to play around with, but it's not really reliable. The chances for it to occur seem very low and the buff does often run out before you can actually use it. The Vampire Ring is pretty underwhelming. It will restore 2 health for each enemy that you slay. To go from 0 health to full health, you would need to defeat absolute hordes of enemies. You are much safer relying on some gold quality cheese to keep yourself healthy. I only use this ring for the Skull Cavern quest that prevents you from eating. In there, this ring is quite the lifesaver. To get this ring, just defeat 200 bats. The Savage Ring is another weird one. You can get this ring by defeating 150 void spirits in the regular mines. This ring will give you a chance to receive a massive speed boost after defeating an enemy that lasts 3 seconds. This ring is not ideal for most situations, however it can be a ton of fun when you are trying to speedrun the volcano or something. The Ring of Yoba is an awesome ring. You can craft this once you have reached level 7 combat. This ring will give you a chance to become completely immune to damage for 5 seconds immediately after taking damage. This sounds good, right? Well, it occurs more frequently based on your daily luck. I have had this thing trigger so many times in a row I felt invincible. It's great if you struggle in the Skull Cavern. The Burglar Ring is one ring that every single person needs no matter what. You need this ring. To get the Burglar Ring, you will need to defeat 500 dust sprites in the regular mines. Use monster mask to make it easier. This ring will cause you to get more loot from defeating enemies. What this ring does is it causes the game to roll the dice twice when the game decides what loot to give you. So you will get more loot and you could even get double of the same loot. It's incredible. Iridium Band, you know it, you love it. It's one of the most reliable rings in the game. You can craft up this bad boy at level 9 combat. This ring basically combines 3 rings into one, the Magnet Ring, the Glow Ring, and the Ruby Ring. It gives you magnetism, a glow effect, and a very good damage increase. I always have one of these on me no matter what. The magnetism and the glow effect is way too important in my opinion. The Iridium Band is good for combat as well as for when you are doing anything else in the game. The Crab Shell Ring can be obtained by defeating 60 rock crabs and it will give you a +5 to your defensive stat. This ring is actually pretty good if you use 2 of them. Each point in defense will reduce the amount of damage you take by 1. So if a serpent was going to do 20 damage to you, well now it's only going to do 10. Pair this with some good boots and you'll be really tanky. Good for players who often get hit in the face in the mines. The Napalm Ring is one of my favorite rings to play around with. This can be obtained after defeating 250 serpents in the mines. This ring will cause a small explosion to occur whenever you defeat any enemy. It will do some damage to any enemies nearby and it will destroy any nearby rocks. This ring is great if you often find yourself using Monster Mask and need some help clearing large amounts of enemies. If you time things perfectly and if the stars align, it can cause a chain reaction and absolutely obliterate everything. Just be careful with this ring on the wilderness farm as the explosions can destroy stuff on your farm. The Lucky Ring is insane. I promise you, if you wear a Lucky Ring, you will notice the difference, especially if you wear 2 of them. This ring just gives you a flat +1 to your luck. Get 2 Lucky Rings, some ginger ale and spicy eel, and things that are affected by luck will go your way. It's incredible. Getting this ring is not that easy, but it's not hard either. The most reliable way to get a Lucky Ring is by panning by the dig site on Ginger Island. You should get at least 1 Lucky Ring per day if you pan here the entire day, but try and get 2 of these, okay? The Hot Java Ring is a weird, fun, amazing ring that I don't use frequently enough. To get this ring, just be lucky and get it from a chest in the volcano. This ring's effect is really weird. Whenever you defeat an enemy, there's a chance that they will drop either a single coffee or a triple shot espresso. Pair this up with a Burglar Ring and some Monster Mask and you will get so much coffee from combat that it barely even makes sense. What a strange, fun ring. The protection ring is not that good in my opinion. This ring can also be randomly found in volcano chests, and it will increase your invincibility frames when you take damage by 0.4 seconds. You can stack these to have a fairly decent invincibility timer of 2 seconds. I find this to not help that much, as enemies don't seem to attack you that frequently. Or maybe I'm wrong, let me know if you have used the protection ring before. The Soul Sapper ring is another ring that you can only get from the volcano chests, and if you get this ring, I'm really sorry about that. This ring will give you 4 energy whenever you defeat an enemy. Since we get this ring so late into our playthrough, I literally cannot think of a good reason for this ring ever. I guess it can be paired with the vampire ring when undergoing that skull cavern quest if you are using a pickaxe instead of a slingshot. Phoenix Ring. Oh, this is a cool one. Once again, you can get this from the chests in the volcano. This ring's effect will surprise you every single time it happens. This ring will revive you from death once per day with 50% of your maximum energy. It's just a really funny surprise when you think you died, but actually you come back to continue fighting. It's a weird one, and I can definitely see some people using this. The immunity band is fine. You can randomly find it in the mines or in the skull cavern. This will give you a +4 to your immunity stat. Each point in immunity will reduce the likelihood of you receiving a debuff from an enemy by 10%. If you have 10 immunity, you are basically immune to debuffs. However, I find that debuffs are annoying, but not that annoying to the point where I need a ring to stop them. The Thorns Ring is a ring that I have tried very hard to justify. The truth is that this ring is absolutely useless. You can craft this ring at level 7 combat, and whenever an enemy hits you, you will reflect a tiny bit of damage back onto them. The damage is so low that you will die 10 times over before they do. Alrighty, let's speedrun the basic rings that are named after gems. You can buy all of these from the Adventures Guild after reaching certain floors in the mines. The Amethyst Ring will increase your knockback, causing enemies to fly further away when you defeat them. The Topaz Ring does absolutely nothing, so make sure to never ever use it, just trust me here. The Aquamarine Ring will increase your critical strike chance by 10%. Jade Rings increase your critical damage by 10%. Emerald Rings increase your weapon attack speed by 10%. And the Ruby Ring will increase your damage by 10%. These rings are really simple, but they can be highly effective if used correctly. Remember that all rings in this game can be combined with each other at the forge. This means that you will basically be allowed to wear up to 4 rings. If you are looking for pure maximum damage increase, combine 2 Iridium Bands with 2 Ruby Rings, for example. The difference is immense. Some of the most overpowered ring combinations can be found in my ultimate combat video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more Stardew Valley videos, but for now, I will see you in the next video.